Why can't your teenager do anything on time? Well, let's talk about that today on Tips on Teens. My name is Kent Toussaint. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I specialize in helping kids, teens, and families to live happier lives. I lead two organizations, Teen Therapy Center and the nonprofit 501c3 organization, Child and Teen Counseling, both here in Woodland Hills, California. And every Wednesday at noon, I jump onto Facebook Live to answer your parenting questions. Let's answer today's. My 16-year-old daughter has no time management skills whatsoever. In the mornings, I find myself having to remind her how much time she has left to get out of the house for school. She's constantly waiting until the last minute to finish assignments, staying up all night to finish. Now that she's driving, it makes me extra worried because she gets stressed out when she's late, and I'm worried she'll get in an accident. Do you have any suggestions for us? Yes, thank you for your question. I think a lot of parents can relate to this one. We all have had kids who have struggled with time management. We all know adults who struggle with time management. It's not an uncommon thing. Teenagers have an extra obstacle because they have a teenage brain, which is not fully developed, and their ability to see cause and effect and impulse control, all of that is impaired while they are teenagers. The good news is it does get better as they mature. Now that she's 16, she's probably at the peak of this development, and as she gets to 17, 18, 19, hopefully that will start getting a little better. If she already has some attention issues, whether it's, she's been diagnosed with ADHD or something like that, that may put some extra obstacles in her way. It's not insurmountable. I'm sure you've already tried having her write down her schedule, having her write down a calendar, plan out ahead how much time things will be, and it's still not working, and you're frustrated. I get it. I think there's no one perfect solution to this, but it is a journey. And what I'd recommend is let the pain of being late be her pain and not your pain. So if she, for example, sleep is really important. It is so important for teenagers. Their brain is developing so much. They need that sleep to really develop a healthy brain. So at a certain time, all electronics are off. She's got to be in bed, regardless if she's finished or not. Let her deal with have to come to terms with the natural consequences of not getting the assignment in on time or not studying. Let the bad grades be hers and not yours. Now, right now, I know you're panicking, but wait a minute. It's her junior year. She's got to get to college. I get it. But if she's not ready to have the discipline to stay on track, she may not be ready for college in 2 years, or at least not a 4-year university, maybe community college, which is fine because no one cares where you do English 101 at. It doesn't matter. No one's going to go, oh, wow, you graduated from this university, but you took your English 101 class at community college. I'm sorry, you're not our material. It's not really how it happens. So allow her to face the natural consequences of her actions. Getting the poor grades, not getting the assignment in, being late for rehearsal 3 times and losing her role in the school performance. Whatever that is, it's going to feel horrible. She's going to be in pain. She's not going to like it. But that's how we learn. We learn from setbacks. We will learn from failures. We don't learn anything from success. Success just comes and we just assume it's supposed to be there. We learn from adversity and overcoming adversity. That is part of the human condition. That is part of the human experience. And we as parents want to shelter our children so much from adversity, sometimes we get in the way. We put too many nets around our children, and therefore they never really learn how to pick themselves back up. And so what I would encourage you to do is set boundaries, bedtimes, screen use. Again, what kind of screen use limitations and boundaries there should be, that's a whole hour-and-a-half workshop. It's hard to distill that down into a few sentences. But having those boundaries and letting her bump into them, while she may complain and argue, but it's important that she learns how to adapt to those boundaries as we have as adults. Now, if you're afraid that she is driving recklessly, and you're afraid that because she's running late, she's going to drive in a dangerous way, pull her keys. Better late than dead. Right? If that means she doesn't get there on time, she doesn't get there on time. If that means you have to take her, you guys have to have these conversations. And again, setting these boundaries should not be at the expense of your relationship. Now, I already know as a teenager, she's pushing away from you. That's normal. That is totally normal for her to do that. If she didn't do that, she would never leave the house. And she's going to leave the house at some point. But you want to make sure that you still have a relationship based on love, compassion, acceptance, empathy while setting these boundaries. I'm not saying that's an easy thing to do, because it's not an easy thing to do. It's really hard to do that. But only one of you is the adult in the room. She's not qualified to be the adult. That's up to us as parents. If you need help with this and support with this, there are a lot of therapists out there, especially in Los Angeles, who work with kids and teens, who want to support families. We've gone through this. We've helped families through these things before. We can do it again. Again, there's no perfect solution. There's a good enough solution, and it's finding that good enough solution that gets everyone to the next step in her development. Thank you for sending us your question. It's a tough case. We all have kids, especially if you have kids, you're probably gonna have one of them who just doesn't manage their time well. It's normal. And setting the boundaries for your children from a place of compassion and empathy helps them bump against those boundaries and learn how to adapt. Again, my name is Kent Toussaint. If you have a question you'd like me to answer here on Tips on Teens, email us at tipsonteens@teentherapycenter.com, or you can direct message us right here on Facebook. We love your questions. Thanks again. I'll see you next Wednesday at noon. Bye-bye, guys.